today. So first thing I like to talk quickly about visibility of objects. This is something really tricky in Revit. In fact, I have this link, hidden objects. This is actually a pretty good post from Autodesk. It discovered if there's some objects are not visible in certain view, what are the possibilities, right? There's a long list of different location you have to check. For example, start with the visual style. Then you can also check the visibility graph, and you can also check the um, view range, which is very tricky too. If you have floor plan, which is high above the objects, you might not see it. And also there is a possibility about the different phase, right? The construction phase related to, right? So I will show you really quick, some of the common issues you might encounter when you work on a project, okay? So for example, if you create something in a perspective view, I would say the 3D view, right? For example, this roof, right? If you check the properties, in the properties, there's always a value associated with this object. It's called face, right? So now if I drag the property window all the way down, you can see the face is in the project completion. But in some situation, it really depends on when you model, it might in other phases. For example, it could be in existing phase, right? So it doesn't really hurt in the 3D view, but if you switch, for example, to other views like site or maybe level 1, right? Or whatever level, that objects might not be visible anymore. The roof might not be visible anymore. That is because in that view, right, in this particular view, you have to check the filters for the face, right? So if the face is in the project completion, it should show everything, right? But if you switch this to other options, you see some objects will disappear. It's just because the filter for the face gonna eliminate the visibility of some objects. So make sure you know which face is associated with the view. Usually I will just keep everything as project completion. That makes things much easier. And also when I model any objects, I want to make sure that objects belongs to the completion, right? So you guarantee there will be no, this kind of missing stuff. Okay, so this is one thing to just mention the visibility. Another really tricky part for the visibility is the range, right? So if I go to the level 1, which is a really simple one, if I check the my current view range, if you click edit, you can see this view range, if I click show, right, is associated with level 1. So basically level 1 you can treat as the foot or the zero height in that level. Then the cutting plan is actually roughly in a human height, so it's about 4 feet in the middle, right? And top is cut in the 7 feet. So this is how the view range is defined. Okay, so basically number 2 means the cutting plan, right? So whatever intersect with that cutting plan will be calculated, and then you look down, right, to that cutting plan. So it also has another feature called view depth. This could be really confusing. The view depth means how far you can see below, right? So right now I can see into the basement, but in some situation, in order to see objects underneath this level, you might temporarily set as unlimited. Hit apply, right? So if you do that, everything underneath the current level will be visible for you, okay? So you can definitely set this. Well, for this level 1, it doesn't really make much difference. But if I go to the roof level, right, in the roof level, if I set my view range, if I make this view depth as unlimited, right? You can see a bunch of new things will show up. Right? So that is typically the way this, Revit program will operate. Okay, so by default, it's just using the associated level with the current level. Okay, so this is another part. The visibility will make some confusion. And here's another part. You might temporarily hide object. So here in Revit, if you click this, glasses, you can hide. You can choose either hide category or you can hide elements, right, from the glasses. Or you can right click and here you can choose hide in view. You can hide elements or category. So this is another part. Maybe sometimes you hide a wall or hide the whole category of the wall, right? And after that, you actually forget, you hide the wall, but you just don't see the wall anymore, right? So that might be something you can click the light bulb, right? It will show you what is the temporary, hidden objects, and then you can, you can recite these hidden objects. Okay. So I see the wall is right here. I can right click. I hide category. So all the wall will come back after, right? So that is how you can kind of undo the hidden objects, right? And the last one is the graphic style, or the we call VV, right? Visibility. So the visibility panel is associated with individual view. So here, this is the point. If I don't want to see the wall, I could actually, go here. I can turn off the wall and hit apply. If I look at the view, all the wall disappeared, right? And I can make them back, click wall, hit apply. So all the wall will show up. That makes sense. So this is another place, the visibility, VV. You can control some, turn on, turn off objects. Okay. I think that's it about all the possible location you have to check: face, view depths, hidden, and also the VV, right? The graphic visibility. Cool. So that is the first trick. The second one, I like to talk quickly about the masking for the roof. This is something I already covered in my previous demo, right? In the conceptual design with masking. But I want to talk more in the relation to a reference plan. Actually, it's here. Okay. So in general, when you work, also relate to the grade and elevation. So in general, when you work on a Revit project, this is my way. I will create a grade system. The grade system is really useful, especially if your site is not, true north or true south, right? Maybe it's a diagonal, it's tilted in certain orientations. So in that case, in the future, when you set, for example, a reference plan, this will be some working plan. You can create lines, you can make objects, right? So this is called working plan. So when you set a working plan, if you choose, for example, the elevation view, it will not really make any sense because you don't have a true source or true north. But instead, if you have a grade, right, you can use this grade as your reference plan and just make things much easier. Okay, so I will show you. If I have, for example, a building is like 45 degree, the whole site is 45 degree. If that's the case, when I create a grade, right, this is the grade system, I can draw the grade, right? I will just do some random one. So assuming this is a parallel line to my block, right? So this is my grade. Then I will make array of my grade. I will do probably multiple. I will set up the distance, right? So typically, if you do, mass timber, I think between 15 to 20 would be a good dimension for the grade. So I will do just 15 for now. Then I can, use enter to finish, right? So I basically create a grade which is 15 Whoa, I think I probably didn't type this accurately, right? So 15 feet away from my first one, right? So you could actually do this as a grade of lines. And if I do another, grade, and the grade is not necessary to be perpendicular to each other. You could have an angle theoretically, but I could, make a 90-degree. So you have to be careful about, the angles you are using, because each of these lines in the future could be a reference plan. So here I can give this name as A. Right. Usually I will do, numbers from one axis, all right, and then the letter alpha beta from another axis. So by doing so here, if I do array, right, so here I can do, again 15, right, and then maybe do, I don't know, 10. Still show 10 here. Oh, I have to type 10 here. Okay, so you have this grade as 10. That makes sense. So this is the grade system you can definitely generate. Okay. So in the future, if I want to create a reference plan, if I want to draw something in the elevation, right, directly in this grade number 19, so I can go to set, right. So here in a reference plan, I could choose grade 19. So that's really, really convenient. So if I click OK, this will become my working plan, right? So I will switch my view to 3D view. So now if I draw, for example, I will create a meshing model, for instance. I will go to meshing, create in-place meshing, right? Okay, right. So now if I draw a rectangle shape, you will see this rectangle shape. Oops, this is actually still on the ground. Let me set my reference plan one more time. Set working plan. Yeah, that is strange. Let me cancel that. I think I already set my reference plan to grade. Yep. So now if I draw, right, if I draw a meshing, right? If I draw a circle, well, I think the meshing properties behave a little bit different from others. It's always start from, the ground. But I think here you can manually set, right? You can manually set a reference plan. So here, if I want to make this vertical, I can, pick a vertical plan. That would be the right way to do so. Okay, so now this became my reference plan. If I want to draw a line, I will just draw a meshing here. Right, so maybe I want to do a shape like this. Okay, so you will see this is actually drawn on the elevation, right? It's not on the floor anymore. And I'll create a solid. Oops, I have to select the whole thing, right? Then I create a solid and click finish. All right, so this is the meshing model. Right? It's generated in a kind of elevation view. All right, so I think that's the the benefit. If you have a grade. Another benefit I really like to have a grade is if you want to draw the wall, right? All the in the future the frame system, all the I would get rid of this. All the the columns, all the trusses. It's pretty easy if you have a grade you can use it as your reference. So here, I will show you really quick. Once you have a grid system, right, how you can use it as a working plan, and then you can generate other stuff like details. But before that, maybe let's do a really quick roof, wall, and floor first. Then we'll draw something on the wall, on the roof. Okay. Oh, there are some questions. Let me make sure I don't have questions for my demo. No. All right. So let's switch to 3D view. Okay. I will probably just using this model as my massing. Okay. Well, let's do another one. I think this one is a little bit hard to read. I think I have an old one in here. Nope, this is about site. Hold on. Okay, so I will open this file. All right, so this is a really simple one. If I turn on the massing, right, you can see the massing is basically just a big triangle shape I did in elevation view that I extruded along this direction. Okay, so you can use it. Maybe let me just simply do the copy. Copy the CO, I believe. Okay, so I made a duplication of this guy. Right. So the first thing I will do once you have a massing model is to create floors. Right. So here you can do massing floors, and you can check which level you want to cut through the building. Right now I have level 1, level 2. So if you click OK, they will cut it as a floor. Okay. So that is massing floor. And once you do that, then you can go to other elements. So for example, if I want to create a floor based on the massing model, I can click floor, I can pick, right, and then create. So now I have this floor. I can do this, create, have a floor. If I use VV, turn off the massing. Actually, I have a better way to turn off this. Yeah, right. So if I turn off the massing, you can see the floor plan right there. Pretty nice, right? Same thing, if I want to do the wall, I can just go to wall, and then I can pick the wall here, pick the wall here, pick the wall here, pick the wall here. Oops, this is a roof. Just make sure you highlight the right elements. Probably want to rotate the view. So go to massing, click wall. Right? Have the wall done. If I turn off the massing, right, you have the wall. So this is basically 2 levels with a wall, right? If I want to do roof, same thing. I have to, again, turn on the massing. Then I will choose roof, right? And then I pick a surface, right? And pick this surface. So this became my roof, okay? So now if I turn it off, roof is not show up. Roof by face. Oh, I forgot to click create roof. So you have to click this. Here we go. Create the roof. Okay. So I have this big, block of building. So maybe, the first level is, I don't know, the swimming pool. Maybe the second level is the multi-function room, right? So you can, quickly create this whole building. But let me just temporarily hide my meshing. I want to temporarily delete this roof. Right. I will show you really quick how you can use, the grade system. You can create a shaft. You can create a stairs. Right. So this is something should be pretty easy to do. So now I have my building right here. So let me just temporarily extend my grade right here. Just for the sake of time, I will just drag my grade here. Right. I will remove the constraints. All right, so this is my grid system, which is about 15 by 15, maybe 15 by 20 in this case, right? So here, if I, for example, adjusted my wall, I can log, right, my wall to the grid. So in the future, if I change my grade up and down, you see the wall will automatically go with it. So if you make everything modular, this makes things really, really easy, right? So you can attach or you can unlock if you don't want to make alignment. So same thing here. If you have a grade, you can drag a wall. You can make alignment of your wall. I think this one is a little bit tilted. You can't really lock it, but for this one, you can lock, right? And for this wall, I think you can lock it. Cool. So I locked my wall to the grid system. And then maybe I want to, change the grade in the future, right? Maybe I want to have some grade like this. So here will be 24. Here maybe is 20. Right. Okay, so I have my grade. Then I will go ahead, create a stair, and also maybe create a shaft. So create a shaft. This is the part of the structure. So you can create a shaft right here. Shaft will allow you to define opening. So for example, I want to create an opening, like this big, or maybe double that, right? Then I will click OK. Again, you can log to the grid if you like. So now if I switch to 3D, right, you can see the shaft is actually punching through all the levels, right, including the roof. Right, that's actually pretty cool. You maybe can create a skylight, something like that in the future. So now if I show the meshing, right, you can see basically you have this original meshing. You also have this shaft, which is kind of function like a void. Right? So if you click, you can actually see like the shaft. Maybe I will turn off the meshing. There's too many overlapping objects. Right? See the shaft is right here. Right. So if I drag the shaft lower, you can see the shaft will cutting through the floor, right? But it's not gonna cutting through your roof. So it's really flexible. I know some of you have probably a concrete core for your skyscraper, right? For the tower. So you could actually just easily punch openings through all the levels using the shaft, okay? Which is under here by a shaft. Very similar like a shaft, you can also do this by face. So for instance, if I have my roof here, right? I want to create a opening. I can do by face. Then I will pick up my face, which is the roof. Then I can draw a shape, and then click OK. Now you see the opening is based on the face. Right. So this is another way if you want to create a void using face or shaft. Make sense? Okay. So this is one really good feature. Another good feature is since we just mentioned a little bit about the reference plan, right? Or we call it work plan. So now if you set your work plan, right? If you pick a plan, you could actually pick up the face as your working plan, right? If you do so, in the future, if you model something, it will be just automatically aligned to the face. So for instance, I'm going to create some brace just for the sake of demo. So for the brace, I'm using this glue line pan as my structure. So now if I draw a line, right? You see the line is actually automatically aligned, right, to this face. So that's really, really fast. You can automatically have this working plan perfectly aligned, right, to the roof, right? So it's very important, when you set your reference plan, you can pick a plan, or you can use any of this grid as your working plan. Cool. I think that's probably enough for the reference plan and the grade. Right. But anyway, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me. The next thing I would like to talk quickly about probably let's talk quickly about the stairs. Since we have, maybe stairs, elevator. Yeah, just talk about stairs first. Is kind of associated with shaft and opening. All right. So for instance, let me just get rid of these ugly frames. I don't really need them. Actually, I don't need these big openings. Yeah. Okay. I will, I think the roof is being shifted. That's strange. I'll get rid of it. Oh, you know why? Yeah, you see why it's shifted is because, yeah, this is actually pretty tricky. If I show my original massing, right, you see the massing is here, but since I drag my wall to log to the grade, right, so it's actually deviated from the original massing. So in Revit, there's a way you can actually, if I turn off this massing again, you have an option to update to face. So it will basically regenerate to make it attach to the original massing. So this is just a really quick way. If you really like to stay work with massing, you can make this face update later. So the new massing model will dictate the location of the wall or the roof, right? Since I logged this one to the grid, so that will actually generate a conflict. So just let you know, there's multiple ways you can do this. All right, I will focus on the stair really quick. So go to level 1. So first thing you want to decide is where the stair will start, right? So in this case, I have level 1, level 2, and also roof. If I switch to my elevation view, just give you a heads up, I have level 1 here, level 2 is 8 feet above, roof is 20 feet above. Okay, so this is the 3 levels I have. So if I want to create a stairs, for example, I want to go from, this is a level called the basement. So I want to go from basement to level 1, then from level 1 to level 2, right? So something like this, I already created earlier. So I will show you how to do this, start from scratch. The first thing, I will switch to the right level, right? So I know I'm interested to create my stair from basement, right? So this is my basement level, and I want to just simply create a stair. This is the place, is really handy if you have a grid, right? The grid is always visible, right? So I know exactly, in the future, if I go to my site, why my new building is not show up? Well, this is actually a good exercise on why, certain things disappear. Oh, actually, this is the wrong file. I'm sorry. Yeah, I opened actually 2 files. Yeah. So this is my current file. Okay, so don't be confused. Sometimes you have old files still have a window open. Just make sure you close them. Okay. All right. So now if I go to my basement level, right? Cool. So this is pretty handy. I know my stair is kind of in the corner, right? From 1 to ML, right? You can tell this. Actually, it's between 2, 3 and LB. Okay. Between 2, 3 and LB. good. I think this is probably not the right file. That is strange. So this is my new version in the roof. Yeah, that's okay. So we can just simply draw the stair here. But I probably want to see my roof, right? I want to see the shaft. So what is the best approach if the shaft is kind of above, right? The view range, correct? So the view range allow you to see things which supposed not be visible. So here I go to the view range. There are many ways you can do it. Let's using the view range first. Where is the view range? Here we go. Right. So the view range right now is associated with level 3, but I could make this, the top, I want to give 40, or maybe just make it as roof. Okay. Bottom, I use unlimited. Oh, you can do that. Interesting. Well, let's actually not using this approach. I will just go to the level 2. I will draw the stair right here. I think that would be actually easier. Okay, level 2. All right, because here I can see the shaft. I will go to architecture. I will go to stair, right? When you do the stair, you can basically, define. If you drag, you can see this stair will take 24 steps, right? Let me see. Hold on, let me see. Why do I would say maybe let's do this way. I will start the base level in basement, and I want to define my top level, right? Now the roof, just to level 1, right? Just baby step, basement to level 1. So now if I draw my stair, okay, right, I can see it will take about 11 to reach to the top, right? So if I want to do 2 run, roughly I will do 4, 5, 6, right? So that is about 2 run. And then here I can do another half, right? And click OK, right? So that's how you get, 2 runs for your stair. All right. And then if I go back to my basement level, I should be able to see this stair right there. Okay. Not there. That's strange. Maybe this is not in the right height. Right. If you select the stair, you could see the basement is level 3. It's up to level 1. Yeah, it is correct. I can move this. Or you can, change the shaft either way. Okay, so this is basically 2 run to get into the upper level. Okay, I do want to make sure, the phase is in the project completion, right? And if I go to my level 1, right, I can see the stair below. If I go to the elevation, I see east, right? You can see the stairs right there. So the height is correct. See? All right. So I got my first stairs. Cool. And then I will make more stairs. So it really depends on what is the levels. If your level is kind of the same height, you can just simply do the duplication. You can do array, or you can duplicate, use copy. So if I do array, you could actually make, if it's the same height, you can make this probably uncheck the constraint. So you can actually, well, let me define the working plan because I'm duplicating along the elevation, right? So set my working plan. I can do any grade. That should be fine. Morse view, that's fine. Okay. Then I will make array. Right, so pick here, uncheck the constraint. I cannot make duplications. I don't think I need a constraint. Hold on 1 second. I think the reference plan is not right. So if I want to do elevation, that should be which grade? Switch to 3D view. Right. If I want to do elevation, let's go to site level. Right, along that, I think I should go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will give me the elevation. Okay. So set my plan to 1, grade 1. Okay. Then I can go to the view, plan, and then I will duplicate. That's strange. Why still lock me to the ground? Oh, okay. Now it suddenly works. Right. So let's do a copy, uncheck constraint from this corner to the upper corner. Okay, enter to finish. From this corner, I don't have another level, but you got a point. You can always, copy without constraint, right? Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? So you have 2 levels. I'm assuming you can do array as well. Let me delete this. Okay. So I want to do array. Let's switch back to front view. Right. Oh, I see what happened. In the front view, since I drag these objects pretty far away from the south, I have to make sure this, this icon indicate how the view depth of the front. You have to drag it. Yeah, it's hard to select. To the filter. Okay. So I select elevation, and I will drag it all the way down. Okay. So otherwise, you won't really be able to see these objects. So it's all Revit constraints. So now if I go to the source, still not able to see it. That is really strange. Let me just move this all the way back to 0, 0. Make it close to that. Remove the constraint. And then see from the source. Now they show up. Huh. Yeah, so maybe the limitation is you have to make sure your model is somehow within these 4 elevation blocks. Otherwise, mysteriously, it will disappear. Okay. So that's, that's something hopefully you don't have to worry if you make your model in the right place at the beginning. Okay, so now if I switch, yeah, I can see everything. That's good. So let me just get rid of the wall because the shaft, I just relocate the whole model. The shaft is gone. That's okay. I'll just recreate the shaft. Right. So it's good you can do this in level 1, maybe. And here I will do the shaft. I simply draw a rectangular shape. Click OK. Right. So I have the shaft. Then I want to copy these stairs. Okay, so let's do this one more time. From the elevation view. Right, now it's always visible. Good. So let's do this. Check the constraint. Still, it has its limitations. Let's make a copy. I think the copy behave differently from constraint. I could make copies vertically, but why cannot make array vertically? That is something really strange. Yeah, but you got a point. You can easily maybe duplicate multiple, maybe 2 stairs at a time. If you want to do multiple stories, you can easily do that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. It's really weird stuff in Revit. I can do duplication vertically using copy, but I can't do the array. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, but anyway, I think you all get an idea how to work with Revit. You have to sometimes constantly shift, right, from your working plan, from the level to the vertical. Once you shift to the right working plan, you should be able to do things, drawing things in a vertical scale or duplicate things in a vertical direction. All right, questions? Yeah, the stair is a little bit different than other stuff. Okay, so let's go back here. I think I covered pretty much everything related to the first couple. Maybe the last 2, skylight family and elevator family. Right? I will talk this really quick. So if I have, for example, a roof, just turned off the roof. So let's go to massing, show massing. Right. So I will just using this massing as example. So if I have a roof, right? So if you want to create a skylight, the very easy way to do that is if you go to architecture, right? Window. This is the place you can load in a skylight. But most likely you don't have this skylight available here. The reason is you don't have everything loaded in the beginning. You have to do this in load family. So here in the load family, I will go to Windows, right? And you should see the skylight, right? If you pick a skylight and click open, you can define what type of skylight. This is the dimension. So you can choose multiple if you want, and then click OK. Right. So now you have this new type of skylight. Right. So skylight is a family. Under the family, you have 3 types, and this is the earlier one I loaded as a family. So here, if I choose 40 by 36, right, I can punch openings right here for skylight. Right. You might asking, what if I want to have a different dimension? If the dimension is not here as the current, can I do a new one? The answer is yes. You have to do the edit type. In edit type, you can duplicate the current type. Right, so maybe I want to give this to 360. Right, it's 10 times longer than the current one. Right, and I click. Just make sure you do have this as 30 feet. So this is a really long, narrow skylight. Now you have this new skylight right here. In the future, if you want to, do this new type of skylight, you can create multiple. Okay. Yeah. So this is the the skylight you can choose. So if you want to do a multiple of this, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you make this new type based on a default family. Okay. So I think that's it about the skylight. The next one about elevator is very similar. If you go to architecture, if you want to load a new component, right? Place a component. Let me save the project. Right? You can place elevator as a component, but again, you probably don't have it. So here in architecture, I think you can go to insert load family, right? Load family, you can find elevator. Depends on which version of Revit you are using. I think some version of Revit actually has an elevator. I think it's under the special equipment. Right? It has an elevator, but maybe you don't. Depends on the version of Revit. If you don't have elevator, no panic. You can download from Revit City, or you can just Google. There's a plenty of place you can find Revit family file. So Revit City is the one I use a lot. The only problem is it's super slow. So here you can download Revit family. Okay, there are tons of family here. So once you download a file, I can show you how you can do it. You can copy paste into your folder. In the future, you can just load. Right? If you load it, I already did. Once you have this loaded as your family component, then you can put elevator into your level. Right, so here I can pick one, It's always a good idea to do this in a view, maybe level 1. Right. So here, if I go to, load the elevator, I can pick elevator from level. Why cannot put it in here? Oh, it has to attach to a wall. Interesting. Yeah, you can't really just put it in the middle of the air. Right? So you can put elevator right here, and you should be able to see elevators. Okay, so that's how you put elevator in. I wouldn't worry too much for the details, because this will make your file big if you have a fully detailed elevator here. So I prefer, just find a simple one, adding it in. That should be fine. All right, I think that's pretty much everything I want to cover today. That's a lot, right? This is a pretty long demonstration. But hopefully, I think this will be helpful for you for circulation project. We covered how to do stairs, how to do elevators, and how to do the shaft. Keep in mind, whenever you do a stair, the same thing for the ramp, you want to define, which level is your base level and where is your top level, right? It will basically give you an idea about how long the run is. So if I want to do like from level 1 to the roof, which is really, really high, if I apply, then if I draw the stairs, you can see the stairs is intended to go really long, right? So that's basically 30, 31, okay? So if I want to cross 2 levels, I need probably 4 runs, right? So maybe each one is about 8. So here I can do 8. Right, so here's another 8. Right, and here's another 8. Yeah, I didn't do this carefully. Ideally, you don't want to do, probably I made a mistake, but you got idea. You have to take 4 runs to get to that level. Or it could be, zip back. So let me redo it. If I do another stair, no, I'm still in the modify mode. Okay, so if I do another stair, right, and I will do 8, right, 8. Oh, I have to, sorry, define this to the roof. Redo it. Right. So here from level 1 to the roof. So you take multiple runs. Yep. So that's basically 4 runs. Yeah. So you got an idea. That's the stairs you generated, right? If you want to go, almost 20 feet high. That makes sense. This is the stairs. It's very tricky, but I think if you play with it, you will definitely find a good way to do the estimation. Any questions?